Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Empower716. I am your host, Rob Lowry. I think we are actually at episode number 16. Man, it's like going pretty.
That's amazing.
17. You can put it on the full shot. Today we're trying little things out on the studio. So, things are not always, when you deal with production live. So I do have the privilege to have a wonderful young woman in the building. Go by the name of Ayesha Delk, right? I say your name right because I tell people I'm horrible with names, and so so you're in the building. I'm so glad to have you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm so nervous.
You nervous? I tell everybody I am truly nervous every time I do this because it gets a little easier, but it's definitely out of my comfort zone, and so. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to get all in your business today. For those who are just tuning in, if you are locked in with us, just make sure you share. This just helps get the value of this information out to other business owners, entrepreneurs who are committed to growing their life and business in Western New York. And that's what Empower716 is really just kind of building a tribe of business owners and entrepreneurs, because I believe when we come up with when we develop a community and we work together, because sometimes, and even in our families and in our circles, sometimes if you don't see other entrepreneurs, and sometimes you can feel alone in this, and you're like, man, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do the marketing, I'm trying to keep the accounting, I'm trying to keep the business strategy going, and sometimes it could be tough. And so we're gonna get into your strategy and your business shortly. But Empower716, we also have started a new segment. We started last week. We recognized small business by Armada Cross Training, the owner, Von Page. And so we're recognizing 8 small businesses in Western New York. And today we're going to highlight 3 Stories Coffee Company, which is an extension of 716 Ministry. Just opened up on Broadway. Beautiful building and facility. But if you are interested, I want you to take a look at this video. But if you're interested in having your business showcased in this spotlight, just make sure you hit us up at empower716@gmail.com. That's empower716@gmail.com. And so let's give a big shout out to 3 Coffee Company, and we're going to see what they're all about.
Celebrating the opening of 3 Stories Coffee Company, which is an extension of the workforce development program of 716 Ministries. Our organization is oriented around community development and creating access to opportunities. And so a number of the people who we have served throughout our history and our workforce development come from Broadway, Fillmore, and adjacent neighborhoods. And so we decided that we wanted to be a stakeholder in this community. We want to help make some space over here, and we had an existing relationship with partners in this building. We'd done some construction work in here, and so through a partnership with Mosaic 659, the building owner, and Jericho Road Community Health Center, we had an opportunity to open our own spot.
We started from ground zero and worked our way up. I've been involved in every planning stage of it, from hiring to training to establishing vendor relationships to actually coming up with menu concepts and everything. I put my hand in my footprint pretty much on every aspect of it. When this first started off, it was just a shell. So with it being just a shell, and I've never done a culinary program before, and that's where I came into play. I have over 30 years of culinary experience, so I brought that to the table. I brought a wealth of knowledge, and I transferred that over to this part of it as far as getting everything up and running.
As the train director, it is going to be our hands-on site for some of our programs. We have a customer service certification program. The hands-on training will take place here with Herm Cooks, our restaurant manager, leading the efforts along with the work readiness team. And they'll get paid hands-on shifts as they work towards customer service certification. And then this cafe is supposed to be really a springboard for opportunity. We talk about this all the time. There's so much talent in this neighborhood. There's so much untapped talent everywhere.
In the building as a whole, 1021 as a project is, it used to be a furniture warehouse, and now it's a health and wellness community center. There's a gym and primary care offices and dental help, and I mean, there's really cool stuff happening here. And so then on the first floor, this opportunity to develop retail space, have a full-service coffee shop, teach residents from the community culinary and customer service skills, and ultimately create a business incubator environment.
We want our work readiness students to come through our culinary program or through our soft skills program or through our construction crew programs. And those are just to build in them the habits of going to work every day, build habits of being responsible. And a lot of the people that are going to come through the cafe, they might not be in it for culinary reasons. It's giving them the opportunity to get back into the workforce, get used to going to work and things like that.
Talent is universal, and so this can create an opportunity to get a good job, get some training. We build vocational plans with everyone that goes through our programs, career goals. We want to just be a part of the process of people thinking about their dreams and working towards them.
The three stories are this: it's direct trade, it's locally roasted, and it's not for profit. So every dollar that gets spent with 3 Stories Coffee, we try to do as much justice with it as possible. We buy our beans directly from farmers and producers, making sure that they're not getting exploited wherever they are around the world: Guatemala, Ethiopia, Tanzania, different places we source beans from. And then we import those beans directly here to Buffalo. We roast them perfectly and serve them fresh, so it's a high quality product. And then 100% of the dollars that are earned in this place get folded back into community development, workforce development through our programming.
I'd love to see this place thriving with people from this neighborhood and here having meetings, for this to be like a real community hub. I'd love to see people coming through the work readiness programs, working here, and starting their own businesses that they own and run in this neighborhood.
My focus to get this place up and going from a year from now is to just be a direct reflection of the Broadway Fillmore neighborhood, to continue the revitalization that's already going on here. Our hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. No weekends yet, but we're going to change the hours as when the summertime comes around. We'll increase the hours. If there's certain events going on, we will work evening hours. We'll be catering out events in the evening. If you want to get in contact with anybody, it's 3 Stories. Again, my name's Herm Cooks. I'm the general manager. We could be reached at 716-342-2000. And if you can't reach us at that number, you can also reach us at 716-440-8298.
All right, so that's a big shout out to 3 Stories Coffee doing their thing, the Broadway market. So if you are going, obviously for Easter is coming right up, so many of you celebrate Easter, and you always going, if you celebrate at Broadway Market, make sure you go stop by 3 Story Coffee, and even if it's not Easter, just check them out because they're doing some great things over there. So let's get into it. I got a little bit more because I see you all over social media doing your thing.
Thank you.
And so I want to know, before we jump into a little bit about your business, I want to know a little bit more about you, where you're from, and some of your upbringing here.
A little bit about me. Before being an entrepreneur, I am a mom first. I have a 15-year-old and I have a 10-year-old. Very active.
Wow.
My 15-year-old is active in sports. My daughter is active in dance. So everything shuts down.
Yeah.
I don't care what's going on for London and Erin. A little bit of my background is I grew up in a household with both mom and dad. So
Okay.
I can't sit and give you the story of started from nothing. And
Yeah.
I can't give you that story. I've always had my mom and dad present in my life. My mom and my dad is my biggest supporters. My mom and my dad they mean a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, without them, it's a lot of things that I'm doing that would not be possible.
Wow.
My mom and dad really back then when I was like my son age and my daughter age, I really didn't know nothing about entrepreneurship. But now that I look back and as an adult, my mom and dad was entrepreneurs as I was growing up. My mom and dad owned 3 houses on our street. My mom and dad fixed houses and rented them out. So I kind of learned entrepreneurship at a young age.
That's dope. That's dope.
But it took me to my adulthood to realize what that was back then. So I grew up with 2 parents who were entrepreneurs. My father was a very hardworking man. I watched my father go through cancer and still wake up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to work to make sure that he provided for me and my siblings.
Wow.
So that's just a little bit about me, I guess.
Do you think that obviously that foundation is significant? Now you talked about like other people have different stories, maybe being raised in a single parent household. Do you obviously think that played a huge role on you kind of having the mindset that you have now?
Definitely. I grew up with, like I said, both parents, so I'm not gonna say I grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth.
Right.
But my mother taught me at a young age, like, say when Jordans came out. My mother made me get a job at 14. You work in summer youth. I don't care what we do. And they would say, well, my mom did this 10-80-10 plan with me. So the 10-80-10 plan was 10% was tithes, 10% was savings, 10%, the 80% you have, that's your have money.
Wow.
Like, that's what you play with. So my mom would take money and put it in my savings account. At 18, I was able to buy a brand new car off the lot. So that 10-80-10 plan
Wow, that worked.
really worked. And right now, as my son is getting older and he wants things, he keep joking with me, I want a Hellcat for my 16th birthday and stuff like that. But getting him used to working, not everything being handed to you,
Right.
I think that was the biggest thing. I think that's what helps me now as an adult. Yes, I was spoiled, but yet still my mother and father still made me work for the stuff that I wanted. It was never just freely handed to you, like, here you go.
Wow.
So, like, if I wanted a pair of Jordans, they was $180. I had to come up with the 80. They'd give me the 100. So
Making
it
you
was
work
just
for it,
different
yeah.
things that I learned as growing up that I apply now as an adult.
That's really dope. I always tell people, like, if I knew what I knew now,
Definitely.
like, just the whole, like, saving, and because, I was in the mindset, and so many of us are, you flash before you have it. So it's good to, we taught them out of you look good, and but you broke outside. You don't have no money to buy anything.
Piss poor in your
Yep.
pockets,
So to have that mindset at a young age, especially at 14, that's really dope. Just to learn about saving.
What's so
I ain't
funny, my mother still have my first check
really.
from summer youth. Yes,
Wow.
she kept it. She was just showing my son the other day, like, you need to get a job.
Make it work. So great foundation, and so where, like, what was your kind of your dream or aspiration, like, coming out of high school? What was that like?
Coming out of high school, to be honest with you, I thought I was going to the WNBA.
Really?
I was into sports, definitely. Tomboy. Everybody look at me and be like, oh, you so girly. I'm really not.
So you play ball? So you know how to
Played basketball, ran track. I wanted to play sports. I played a little bit in college.
Okay.
Before getting pregnant with my son. So me, I was just like, oh, I want to play basketball. I want to play basketball. This is what I want to do. I really didn't really think about, like, being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It was more so, especially after having my son, is just working, making sure I can provide for my kid. After that, like, as my son got older, I realized, okay, I got to give him something. Like, I got to show my kids what their situation, like their father being incarcerated and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I had to show my son that you can still have everything. Like, you're not missing a beat. And mommy's working a 9 to 5. Mommy is an entrepreneur. So I promised my kids that I was going to go back to school and get my degree. I went back to school and got my degree in criminal justice.
Wow, that's dope. Okay.
The reason why I got into criminal justice is because I just wanted to know the penal law. Like, one of my favorite cousins ended up getting incarcerated, and I wanted to know what was these numbers behind why he's in jail.
Wow.
So that was the whole reason why I had went the criminal justice way.
Okay.
I actually start back school in September to get my bachelor's. And I just wanted to pursue it. I was just so curious as to why is he getting this amount of time? Like, what is in the penal law that is requiring him to go to jail this long? Like, I just wanted to know. And then another thing, the reason why I wanted criminal justice was because me and my brother both have criminal justice degrees. My brother is actually a detective in Maryland.
Okay. Well,
And he was a military police officer before that. So it was just interesting to me. I actually got my security license out of high school. We had the BBTC program. Hindsight, not thinking about it. They offer cosmetology, as you know, cosmetology, other little fields that you could take. And it's so funny, I go back to cosmetology school at 21, but before that, when I graduated from high school, I had my security license. I was working at Children's Hospital.
So you already started the foundation.
So I had a little foundation in it, and I kept telling my kid's grandfather who owned Bolo Security, I kept saying, I want to take over the company. Like, I want to really have a security company. I wanna do this. And while I was in school, he was just listening to me. And, I felt like at that time maybe I wasn't ready. And then back in August, I had got with him and I said, this is really what I want to do. I'm interested in it. I really want to take over the company. And, I've been asking you this for years. And finally he said yes. And there go my start.
And what kind of, what was that conversation? Did he okay, I'm did he test you through it? Yeah, he tested you through the process.
He schooled me. Because when he had the company, they were doing major things.
Yeah.
That's like a major thing to turn something over, your baby over to something that's going to be somebody else's baby.
Right.
I know that just with conversations with him, I know I'm making him proud. I didn't think that when I threw it out there, I didn't think that people would take to it so fast. I want to say I threw it out there in August of me starting the company all over again, bringing it back. I want to say I had my first booking by September.
Wow.
And ever since then, it was like one thing after another. So I didn't realize how much support people really supported. And I mean, it kind of brought tears to my eyes because I was thinking this is a man's field. Ain't nobody gonna really mess with it.
And I was gonna ask you a little bit about being in the male dominated industry. But why don't before we get into that, just kind of explain what Bolo Protection Agency is.
Bolo Protection Agency, we provide individual services for bodyguard work.
Okay.
Venues, different events. I have done different events throughout the town. All around, I'm trying to get the agency out of the whole club thing.
Yeah.
I see a vision for myself that I'm giving myself 2 years to get us completely into more of the corporate world. Getting more corporate contracts. I want to expand Bolo as far as I can. Not just in Buffalo, but my guys know, I always talk to them, we can make this club money. That club money is easy.
Right.
But what about me being able to offer you 401ks and putting you and your family in different positions to where you don't have to stand in a club overnight. You know what I mean? My vision for my company extends farther than just us working in clubs and, just doing different venues. I'm working so hard. I don't think people realize, since I started and me knowing the direction that I'm trying to go, I have I wake up at 3:00 in the morning and jot down things. I have a lot of things that I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to take my children's grandfather business from being just that club security company to now we're corporate. Now we have corporate contracts. We are bodyguarding for major people.
Yeah.
My guys is making enough money that they can live off of and be okay. And putting people in different positions to where they can win. And when they get ready to branch off from me, they have the foundation that they need if they wanted to start a company.
Wow. Now I want to ask you this question, because many entrepreneur business owners, they have the vision, right? You have the vision. And how do you keep, turning the plow of I gotta stay locked into this vision no matter what, what's going around. So you're a mother, obviously you have other responsibilities, other businesses. knowing that this is where you're going to see yourself in 2 years with your business. And I love the fact that you're just not saying, I got to make sure me and my family eat, but I got to make sure the people who I bring on to your team and your vision eats as well, and that they have longevity with, 401k and so forth. How challenging is it to have that vision and then still got to get through your day-to-day stuff as an entrepreneur?
It's very challenging. I call myself now a night owl.
Yeah.
I'm working when everybody else is asleep. I mean, because my day can go I wake up every morning at 6:00 in the morning. I have a son that has to be in school by 8:00. I have a daughter that has to be in school by 8:45. So it's like my mind is tick-tocking.
Yeah.
Like I'm never on, like I can never really get a break. And then on top of that, I'm still working a 40-hour-a-week job as a group home manager. So I have to, most of my midnight oil burning is at night. Like I'm 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I'm up on I got my laptop in my purse. Like anytime I get an opportunity to work on something to pursue towards that goal, that's what I'm doing. So after I done did homework, after I done cooked, after I done ran around for basketball practice, track practice, after I done even probably had time for me to go get my nails done or something like that, just by the time I get home and they in the bed, it's like my time to really focus on my businesses.
Wow.
Like me, I'm one of them people, if I set a goal for myself, my mom had me a long time ago write my list down of where I wanted to be. I want to say my son probably was 7. And she had me write down where I wanted to be in the next 5 years. Write it all down. So I was like, Ma, is you serious? Like, I just, like, what is you? But one of the goals was me graduating from school. I hit that goal. One of the goals was for me to open up a salon. I hit that goal.
Wow.
And it might not have been done in that allotted time, but before them 5 years was up, I was already surpassing my goals.
Wow.
So me, I'm one of them people that if my mindset is focused on what I want to do, like if I know this is what I want to do, I'm going to push as far as I can to get to where I don't care if I got to bust down 3 doubles.
You're going to make it work.
I'm going to make it work because my thing is I don't want to ask nobody for nothing, and I don't want to feel like I owe somebody something for something that I know that I'm pushing for on my own. This is my blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I am, and the crazy thing is, I was just talking to one of my close friends. A lot of goals that I had set for myself for the security company, I've already done mastered some of them.
Wow. Now you actually, you said you took over the company August of last year?
Yes.
Wow. So another question I have for you, because a lot of times when people get into, like you said, you got a full-time job and you start your own business, a lot of people have this ideal that entrepreneur, you do make your own hours, but it's not a 9 to 5. It's not something you just turn on and turn off. And some people think it's like this glamorous lifestyle.
It's really not.
I just wake up when I want to wake up and just run my business, whatever. So do you find that a lot? Like a lot of people who are starting their own business, that this is your life, right? This is
really your life.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait until I'm not at that point yet. I don't know if it's just fear or what it is. My mom she always tell me it always is the faith of the size of a mustard seed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm at that level right now, but my ultimate goal is to eventually be able to fall back from my full-time job.
Yeah.
And just completely give my all to the security company and watching it grow. And I know that when it's my time, God will open the doors that I need to be able to take that step to move forward. I don't want to make that step prematurely and then
Absolutely.
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I feel like everything happens on God's time and not ours.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of times we move before God and then things don't work out the way that we planned it to work out. So I'm waiting for God to open whatever door he see fit that I can say it's time for me to walk away from my 9 to 5. Right now I'm comfortable. I've been a group home manager now for 10 years.
Wow.
So that job come like this.
Just like
to
that,
me.
yeah.
It's like clockwork. I can kind of run my house in my sleep. But even at my job, I have, young people that are entrepreneurs or trying to be entrepreneurs. So I always try to encourage them to pursue your dreams, prepare for failure. You're not going to be perfect.
Right.
Anytime you step out into that business world, it's not perfect. Like, and my thing was, I'm always trying to be perfect. I'm always trying to strive for excellence. And I had to fall back a little bit and know that, it's gonna be some failure.
Now, is that tough? Because we probably share the same kind of mindset with that. Is I always felt like I wouldn't start nothing until I had it right. Like I didn't want to jump out doing something until I had everything checked off. And then I realized like that kept me back from even starting it. So like, is that difficult? Like, how did you get over that? Like, how did you battle though? Like, everything in life is not perfect. I got to get
Prayer.
Yeah, that works. Prayer works.
It works. Not only that, I can honestly say, like, since I started this security thing, I have veterans that have been doing security for a long time. Like, one of my closest friends, he does security, been doing it for a long time, and he always send me inspirational stuff every morning. When I'm feeling like I'm not doing enough for my company, he always send me something inspirational that pulls me back to show me that you just where you need to be. Just stay focused. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't push yourself, how do you know if you're going to be successful or not in whatever you do? You have to, like, put yourself out there. I don't consider myself the most popular person in America, but I know that I have a strong support system, and I do have true friends that is going to encourage me to keep going. I would tell any entrepreneur, like, if you feel like you want to start a business, start it.
Start it, yep.
When you fail at something, it shows you that, okay, I can't do it this way. I have to turn around and do it another way. That's all it's doing. You don't get discouraged from it. Like, everything is gonna take off, but it's gonna take off in your time when it's your time. And one of my good friends, Connie, she always said, like, the people that certain people can reach, that's who they reach. The people that I can reach is who I'm gonna reach.
Right.
So at the end of the day, why be discouraged?
That's a word right there. That's a word. So I want to ask you, being a female in a predominantly male industry, how challenging was that?
I had to start winging out. If you are really calling me to talk to me,
See, I was gonna ask that question too, because a lot of times when you see certain things, again with marketing and everything else, it's like I'm sure you probably get that a lot.
I get it a lot. But one thing I've been fortunate is every guy that is surrounded by me now that works for me or I work with, they treat me like I'm their sister. Like, it's really like a family. Like, they really protected me. They really protective of me, and they really protect me. But it be sometimes I get a call like, is you trying to hit on me, or are you looking for business?
Right.
Like, what is it that you want? But I deal with that a lot.
Now, how do you handle that? Because I think for another female entrepreneurs who may be, because I see that happen, on several instances to people that, not being taken seriously in whatever field that you're in. How do you handle some of that?
If I see a conversation going more towards you trying to hit on me, I kind of keep trying to redirect the conversation back to business. If I can't redirect you back to business, the conversation over.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'm not selling a product. Like, I'm trying to give you a service. Like, we ain't about to talk about all that. And I get it a lot. Like, you wouldn't believe how much.
Now, do you think you have to work as harder as a female entrepreneur, especially with a security company? Do you have to work 2 times, 5 times harder than a male counterpart?
In the beginning, I did feel like that, but my guys that work with me also know that I will get out there and work with them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just sitting back in no office and writing that stuff on a piece of paper and just sending them out. Like, it's been times where I done went and worked at a club, like, or I done been out with them and a fight break out, and I can probably be partying. I have my shoes on, and I'm still gonna step in the middle of whatever they got going on. So, and they know that. I think that's what helps them a lot when dealing with me, because they know that I will get in the trenches with them. Like, this is just, I want my business to grow, and I know that at the end of the day, people have to see that I'm willing to work too. Like, people only want to work with you when they know that you willing to work too.
You're not afraid to get your hands dirty.
Yes,
You just
and get in the midst of everything that they got going on as well.
Okay. So how we talked a little bit about like balance, you know, you being a mom, being, you know, full-time job, going back to school. Every time I hear those lists of things, it makes me feel like a sense of relief too, because sometimes you do feel like you're the only one trying to like make things work. You got multiple things going on, and then you hear somebody else and you're like, oh, I don't know if I had to drop school, so I tried to go back for my master's degree, and on top of everything else going on, so I'm up like 3 o'clock in the morning just reading this like 20-page document, and I'm like, I don't see how people do it. And especially if you got younger kids, it's really challenging. So how do you balance, and you talked about being mom, that's your number one priority. How do you balance all of that?
I know with school coming back up, I know I'm not going to physical classes. I'm definitely doing online school so I can log on when I need to.
Yeah.
But I guess it's making sure that the kids, after my kids is okay, like making sure that their day is okay, they're happy. Like I said, I do a lot of stuff at night. So it's like the balance come through with support. Like I said, without mom and dad, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of things that I am doing. Like my mom, like right now, I'm here with you, and my father is gone to pick up my son from track. So just having that support system that's around me, I think it makes it a lot more easier for me to accomplish everything that I want to.
Yeah.
My parents have been the strongest force for me these last 8 years. Like, since their father have been incarcerated, I know if he was home, he would take a lot of lead in things that I have going on. I probably wouldn't have to be working this much, but I know that without my parents and his parents, that support system that I have is helping me to be grounded in things that I want to do.
Wow.
And the amounts of support that they show me, like just with his mom stays in Atlanta, so she texts me all the time. She probably watching it. She texts me all the time, just little encouraging things. Like, even though they're far away, it's just the things that they do to try to support me here. His dad is the one that turned over the security company to me. You know what I mean? And this is something that I can pass on to his grandson, because my son is interested. My son wants to go to school for criminal justice.
Wow.
My son wants to go to school to be a lawyer. He tells me that all the time. So I take him to the office with me now just to show him little things, like just in case, like if this is something that you really do. But I know him. If they give him a scholarship for basketball somewhere, he's
gonna take it. Yeah.
But my biggest thing is my parents. Like, I couldn't, words can't express how much I appreciate.
See, I love the fact
my
that
parents.
I love the fact, one, is that obviously you're acknowledging your parents and the foundation they planted in you, and then that is now transforming to your children. And we talk a lot about this in our community sometimes, where we don't see certain things in our household, like, having someone break down of how to save, someone teaching you how to have a support system, and how critical that is, because there are individuals who out there who don't have support systems, and so you value it. And then bringing your son to work, many people are not exposed to that, taking your child to even see them. And so now that your child is being exposed to see their mom working, starting their own business,
like
that's
my
dope.
kids. My daughter, she was like, "Ma, I told the girl today that you did my hair," or, "Ma, they don't believe that you work security." Or my son, I'll post a picture or something like that, and he'd be like, "Ma, they don't know I got a fly mom." Like,
my mom dope. My mom dope. Yeah.
Like, my mom can do both. Like, and it brings happiness to my children seeing me. At first, I used to be so upset about, not having that time. But now it's like, they know that when I'm missing time, the time that I'm missing from them, I'm making it better for them in the long run.
I love that.
Like my son, we had this conversation the other day. He was like, you be busy, Mom. Sometimes you come in the house and you go to sleep, but you never miss a game. I can turn around in the audience, you there. You never miss the important stages that I go through in life. That's the reason why I don't mind you being gone or you have to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know the outcome from this, the payoff from this is one day you're going to be able to be home with us all day.
Yeah.
And as he's getting older, he's understanding more. Like, I just was telling you that my son wants to be an entrepreneur himself. Like, he comes to me with ideas all the time, and I'm be like, boy, just focus on basketball.
Like, do one thing at a time. Try to figure out,
at a time. But I'm glad that he's seeing me being an entrepreneur is motivating him to be one.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the biggest blessing of it all.
And I love the lessons with, like, for those who are listening right now, when you look at everything that you talked about, when you talk about success, and you talk about like growth in the person and really making like generational changes in your family, leaving a legacy for your kids, just the fact that you don't miss those. Because I when I reflected back on some of my career, it was always putting the business first, and then the family suffer. Like you don't have time for this because you're just trying to get not so much the bag, but you're trying to secure making sure that your family is okay, and that could be like a tough balance. But the fact that your son could look at a game and see his mom there, those are the moments that they're actually going to value the most.
More than anything.
Yeah.
And then with me is with their father being incarcerated, I feel like I can't miss nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be a part of every
Right.
little thing because when he calls me, I have to tell him what's going on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I have to be there to tell him everything. Like, oh, your son did this, your son did that. I don't want him to hear a third party. And then I don't want my kid to turn around and don't see neither parent.
Yeah.
So that's just big. I'm telling you, when I don't care what's going on in my life, if my son has something or my daughter has something, either it's gonna wait, whatever I gotta do, or I'm gonna cancel it. Like, it is what it is, because I feel like I'm already, as an entrepreneur, taking a lot of time to where I'm not there.
Right.
So if me being at this basketball game or me being at this dance recital is important to them, it's important to me.
you. Yeah. So let's transition to your other business. Now you have another business.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us what's your other business about?
I am a cosmetologist. I do hair. I did have a hair salon, a big hair salon at one point, and then I started the security company, and I noticed that I was getting pulled more in a direction of something that I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Compared to something I've been doing since I was 21. So it was like starting to take a toll because I felt like my presence was lacking in the salon.
Yeah.
And because I was more focused on starting that business, getting that business together, I didn't think that I was gonna get booked that soon. So now the bookings is coming in, and now I gotta focus on, is the garbage taken out?
So you got good problems over there.
Yeah, so it was just like, okay, now it's like, Aisha, you have to pick which one you want the most.
Yeah.
Like, so me, it was a hard decision because I put my blood, sweat, and tears into opening my salon.
Yeah.
But I had to make that decision not only for me, but for my mental health as well. Because I was paying attention more in this direction and slacking in this direction, it was starting to affect me. And me, I am like a perfectionist. Like, I like things to be done the way it needs to
now,
be
let me
done.
stop you for a second. So, because this happens to many people now, how did you figure out, like, I gotta make that decision? Because sometimes people just, like, you walk into something like, oh, I'm spread thin. But then you talk about mental health, and did you have like a breakdown to like?
I had a breakdown with my mom.
Yeah.
Like, it was one night I came in the house one day, and it was something that happened at the shop, and it made me have like a mental breakdown with my mom. And I just cried because I knew I invested so much money into this, like my own money. Like, I'm talking about working, busting down doubles to make sure I supplied that building.
Right.
And I had cried with my mom, and my mom is a praying woman. Like, I can go to her with something and she gonna pray about it. Like, that's just her.
That's you need that. Yeah.
I thank God that I have a praying mother. Like, that's one thing that I thank God for. My mom gonna pray about everything. And she always tell me to pray before you make a decision.
Yeah.
So after crying with her, we prayed together. I went downstairs. I cried a little more, prayed before I went to bed. And what helped me make my decision was I felt like I was running myself thin. Like I'm jumping from this place to this place. I'm jumping from here to here to here to here. Now, not only that, I'm being a mom. I'm working 40 hours here, so I gotta go.
Right.
And like I said, I've been wanting to start me a security company. I just didn't know when that opportunity was gonna come for me. And I knew that was something I wanted to do more than anything. So when it came down to it, and it was just like my final straw, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna let the hair salon go. I'm gonna drop down to a suite, just take my customers, my loyal customers that I done had for years.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep pressing towards what I want to do with this company. And at the time when all of that happened, I always say, you know, you always got to move when God tell you to move.
Absolutely.
Only because in the process of that happening, one of my best friends, who's sweet, I got a suite in his shop now. One of my best friends was looking to expand his business. So we ended up coming up with an agreement of payment so that everything swaps over. So everything that I bought for my salon, he ended up buying it from me, and he took over the salon. That's the reason why I always say, when God is in the mix, it's going to work. Because I was sitting here like, what am I going to do with
trying to figure it out, what you going to do, yeah.
Now I got to pay for storage. I don't got enough, you know what I mean? But everything just happened simultaneously. And then, so when it happened the way that it happened, I knew that God was in the midst of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because it could have went the other way. And then I was fortunate to have, I was blessed with wonderful landlords at that building, to where the swap was easy. They just swapped everything into his name. It wasn't no hassle. Everything moved freely. It was almost like when I signed that paper over, you don't know how much of a burden was relieved off of me. I mean, I wanted to go to church and shout. Like, it was just that, like, and I knew that it was my call. Everything happened for that reason. Like, everything happened.
And then you feel like it was just, like you just said, you feel the relief, but it felt right. You felt like you prayed on it. It was God's timing, and it worked out. And then, like, it was a peace. I guess
it was like the peace that overcame me. It was just like, I literally cried. Because dope. It was just like, it was like a burden relief. Like, I don't have to worry about this no more. Like, I can really move forward and finish pursuing what I want to do.
Now, a couple of points I want to just go back that you made, because I think it's important, especially, you know, you having a full-time job. And I tell people too, is that, you know, I had a full-time job running my business, and I didn't make that move for almost 5 or 6 years later. And then you talked about when to let go when there's things on your plate. And, you know, we all try different things in our businesses. So, you know, like, I want to try this, I want to do this. And then, like you said, kind of letting go, like, maybe I need to focus on this so I can get great at this. And this, you know, at that season, that's where I needed to be. But now I got to transition. So that's real dope. So tell me a little bit about some of your clients that you have, and then if people are kind of like interested in doing business with you, like what's some of the things that you offer as far as in your company?
Right now I'm looking for, far as what I'm looking for now.
Yeah.
I'm about to have a big hiring event. I'm gonna invite other entrepreneurs, maybe if you need like stylists or in your salon, or other security companies that's looking for guys. Like, I ain't no hater. It's enough money out here to be made by everybody.
Absolutely.
Just different things like that. I'm looking for armed and unarmed guards.
Okay.
When most of the things that I've been getting lately is, to be honest, it hasn't been really club things. It's one thing that my mama taught me is, some money ain't worth having. So if somebody called me from a club or something like that, and I feel like it's going to put my guards at risk, I won't take it.
That's good.
Because the end goal is for all of us to make it home.
Absolutely.
I have a family that I have to make it home to, so I want you to be able to make it to your home, to your family. So some gigs that I get, I won't take them. It's certain things that I just won't do. I don't do kids parties. I don't do none of that. I won't do 21 and under event, I won't do that at all.
Yeah.
It's just certain standards that I feel like you have to set for your business. And once you set those standards, then people will know, like, I might as well not even call her because she's not even going to do it. In my contract, it says, if you're trying to book me, do not try to book me for a 21 and under event. I will not come. And if you lie and my guys call me and tell me that it's 21 and under there, I will gladly give you your money back and we will remove ourselves off the premises. It's just with me.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to go. So it's definitely with like setting the standards of what type of work you want. Like I can give you the club environment if that's what you want, but if you really want to make some money and you really want to try something different, I can also offer you that as well. I mean, I've been getting a lot of different people reaching out from senior living facilities to the biggest thing now is dispensaries.
Yeah.
Things to where it's not requiring you to put yourself in so much danger. So right now, like, far as me and my agency and what I stand for, I'm looking for guys that want to work. Nowadays, people do not want to work.
I was going to ask you that. It's really challenging. I've a couple organizations consulted me for hiring individuals and going through the candidates of applicants. It's really been challenging of finding the right people and even getting them even through the application part itself. So, and you said you're looking for both armed and unarmed guards. Now, is there, as far as other agencies, is there like a lack of people that you're getting on the table?
First and foremost, in order to work with me, you have to have your license. I'm not taking you. Like, I'm not taking somebody out the street and making them a security guard. Like, you have to go through the whole process of getting your license. Like, I'm not hiring you unless you have your license. It's been a shortage because not a lot of people are trying to work towards getting a license. I won't hire you unless you have your license.
Right.
A lot of people jump from company to company. Just take whatever is available. So yes, I feel like it definitely is a shortage. I feel like people, even with me working in a group home, I just feel like working is just not in people. They don't want to work.
Yeah.
They want everything handed to them.
And it's a tough balance. I think what I've learned just in my experience is stepping back, and I was just having a conversation a few days ago with someone about really having to reteach like work ethic is important, just like the basics of even like soft skills, showing up on time, not to have your cell phone out while I'm paying you, like those little things. So we definitely got a lot of work to do.
I have definitely walked up on a guy and I was like, you're not supposed to be on your phone right now, right? Like, and me, I'm the type of supervisor, I pop up.
Yeah.
Because one situation can mess up your whole brand. And it can, so me, I'm the pop-up type of girl. Like, if I send you somewhere and I want to know what's going on, or if I get a complaint about something, I'm popping up. If I got to send you home or replace you, I will. Like, and you want, I mean, I hate to be like that, but at the same time, I have a business and I have a reputation that I have to keep for my business. I don't want to never get to a position where somebody say they don't want to book with me. So making sure that the people that you hire is on the same standards as you. Like, they willing to work. They know that at the end of the day, anything that you do reflects onto me. Because when they mention the business, they're not going to say, John was a bad security guard. They're going to say that guy that they sent me from Bolo Protection Agency, he was terrible.
Now, I want to just, you talked a little about branding and the reputation that carries. As an entrepreneur, like when you took over the company, and you talked about having a standard, having some expectations for your business, who you wanted to do business with, who you prefer not to do business with. When you're out there trying to establish or where you want to be in 2 years, I kind of want you to give some insight to those who are currently doing their business or just want to start their business and how important it is to kind of build your reputation. Because even, with social media and everything else like that, like you said, now you are the brand and you are the face. And so how do you carry that in making sure that's what I need to get to my 2-year plan?
I will always say, like, me, if any of my customers if they was online, they would tell you, like, I always reach out to them to make sure that they're getting the quality service that they feel like they need to get.
Yeah.
And I always let them know, like, if you have any issues with this guard, let me know. If you have any issues while this guard or any guard is there, let me know so that the adjustments can be made before it gets to a state where it's just gone too far.
Right.
So I kind of communicate with everybody I work with weekly. I have, like, through email or through text, like, I get a text message from them. A couple of my clients today, like, text me and say, good luck coming on this show. Like, we're going to be watching. You know what I mean? Like, so another thing is watching how you promote yourself on social media. Like, that's something that I'm learning as well. Like, it be stuff I be wanting to say on social media, but then I have to remember, like, this can be taken the wrong way, or you can't be, you can't say certain things. Like, I try to stay, like, I'll say stuff, but I won't really say stuff, like what I'm really thinking at that moment. I try to keep my business page and my personal page separate. I kind of limit who can really follow me. Make sure your social media is, like, not too bad. Like, because, when you get hired for certain stuff, I know, like, higher up things, people go check your social media. Like,
that's just the goal. That's the goal too. Like, you want to know somebody.
They want to know the type of person you are. They check your social media. Your business page, make sure you promote yourself as much as you can. Like, even if you get 1 like, so what? Like, don't stop promoting yourself. Don't stop putting yourself out there. Put yourself out there as much as you can. Because somebody might not like your post or your picture or whatever the case may be, but they watching. Believe me. I done had people from hearsay contact me from other people. You know what I mean? So don't never just think because I'm not getting a whole bunch of likes on social media that let that discourage you. Because it's stuff that I post, I probably get 1 or 2 likes, but that's not gonna stop my business. Like, people still contact me. I still get booked to do hair. Like, I don't have to advertise that I'm at this location and security is here. Like, I don't do none of that. I don't have to put that out there, because even what you don't see behind the scenes, we working.
Things are happening.
Yeah. So never stop promoting yourself. Always put yourself out there. Like, whether you selling lip gloss to whatever, like, put yourself out there. It takes nothing for somebody to share your post. Like, it takes nothing. That it don't cost you nothing to share anything that somebody is doing. I always say that. I try to share and support as many people as I possibly can. I done supported people privately. You know what I mean? Like, and it's people that support me. So I know a lot of people come to me and be like, well, how do you keep going? How do you maintain? Like, and I'm not getting that many likes on Facebook, or I'm not getting that many likes on social media or Instagram and stuff like that. That don't mean that you stop putting yourself out there. Keep putting yourself out there.
It's so important. I think people tend to gauge likes and everything else. And I think if you're doing it for the right reasons, and just like the point you made, people coming out to you and say, hey, I watched this or I seen this, and they may not click the like button. It's just people just like to scroll through the news feeds, and then they see, like, oh, I see you got this going on, or I want to reach out to you about your business.
I have had people inbox me and I don't even follow them.
Yeah.
Like, I done check my requests, and then people asking me about security, stuff like that. So that's the reason why I'm saying, just keep putting yourself out there, because it might be that one share that you get that might bring in just that client that you're looking for. And another thing is, like, when my guys go out there, they're a representation of me. So making sure that they're neat.
Yeah.
Making sure that they are dressed properly, not no baggy pants, hoodies, the traditional things that you will see security guards wearing and stuff like that. But when you go out, you're representing the company. So people should want to know, like, wow, who is Bolo? Like, you guys did a really good job. Like, things like that. So it's just always have people around you that believe in what you believe in. Like, support what you support. Believe in your dream. Believe in your vision. You can have a lot of people that's around you but don't believe in your vision. Because I know I done told, when I first started the security company, people was asking me why. Why did I want to do that? And then it's like, me, I'm the type of person, like some of my friends will tell you, I won't even talk to them about something I'm about to do. They won't even see it until I actually probably go turn the key, go into something. And
now that's a word right there. So let's focus on that real quick. Just having the vision that you have and feeling like you need to get other people's approval or validation. How, just give me some insight, like far as like, is that kind of your strategy of like, okay, I'm gonna have to work this and then you just gonna find out?
My thing is, I have always been the type of person that I can be working on something right now.
Yeah.
Like, I can have something going on right now to where it's like I can probably turn the key to something. And I probably didn't sit on the phone and talk to my friends or nobody about it at all.
Yeah.
Because I feel like once you start letting people in the mix of what you're doing, sometimes people cast bad vibes, make you feel like you shouldn't be doing something that you really want to do. So to avoid all of that, I'm the type of person, I keep a lot of things private.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it private until I'm ready to put it out there. Because another thing is, it's people that put stuff out there and then when you don't push forward with something, now you looking like, so my thing is, don't put nothing, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody.
Absolutely.
Like me, when it comes to me and my business, I put blinders on. Like, I really only keep my eyes forward on what I'm trying to do, like the prize that's in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, because when you start looking to the left of what this person is doing and looking to the right of what that person is doing, it make you feel like you're not doing enough.
Yep.
But when you have those blinders on and going towards your goal, no matter what is coming at you in this direction or this direction, you should just focus on you and what you got going on. You will find out that you will accomplish more than what you really think you can. When you start adding other people's opinions into the mix and letting people fill your head up with what you can and cannot do as a woman or what you can and cannot do, or it's so many of those here and it's so many of that. So what? Like, it's a lot of people doing a lot of things. If we go to other cities, it's people that have a million and one things that's all alike. It's all about how you represent yourself and your business and what you stand for in your brand, not nobody else's.
I love your mindset. I think that's half the battle. I think mindset is half the battle, and then obviously execution. And I think what you're doing is really dope, because I think just even your foundation, sharing it with your children, but then being locked in to your goal. And I think even the point that you really helped me with is just sometimes, be careful what you share too early or too prematurely, because I think some people, like, they have a heart, and I don't think some people just do it, some people do it intentionally, but some people do it unintentionally, that they may not have the capacity to receive what the vision of God has given you. And so they try to limit you. Like, you sure you want to do that? Or I don't think that, like you just said, nobody's done that before. Or, this person already doing that, so why would you have to do this? And so that's a word in itself on fire, especially when you're trying to start your business or you're trying to scale your business up. And it's a daily thing. So how do you continue to rebuild yourself on a daily? Because I think some days it's probably harder than others.
Definitely.
And I don't know if we can talk about the Red Bull, because when you had the Red Bull, I recognized, I was like, oh yeah, that's one of those, because I got the Red Bull.
This is survival 101 for me. Anybody know, all my friends know, I'm going to always have a Red Bull, but this is how I press through my day. Like, me, I'm not going to make it seem like being an entrepreneur is sunshine and roses, and you wake up every day and I'm just making all this money, and I done took losses. Like, I done took losses, but I done bounced back from plenty of them to know that I'm not gonna make that mistake no more.
Isn't those the tough lessons? Like sometimes you can't be taught those lessons. Like if somebody tell you to avoid that pitfall,
Sometimes you gotta go.
you gotta,
that pitfall.
yeah, and you lose and like, ooh, I'm not gonna do that again.
Like, if anybody was to tell you that being an entrepreneur is sunshine and rainbows and stuff like that, I don't know what type of business they got, but it's not. Like, you gonna hit some pitfalls that you ain't even see coming sometimes.
Right.
But you have to get so grounded and so into yourself that you know that if, okay, I done hit this pitfall, but how I'm gonna bounce out of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and a strong thing for me is prayer, man. Like, I really believe prayer works. Like, I'm a firm believer. I don't go to church every Sunday, but I know that God is real, and I know that a lot of things wouldn't be possible without him.
Yeah.
So I constantly keep prayer in my everyday. I read my daily bread. I don't know if a lot of people do that anymore. My mom bring me one home from church.
Does she?
But just keep pushing yourself. Know your self-worth. Like, know where you trying to go. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, like I said before, everybody not gonna see what you see in yourself or your vision, but you have to play your vision out the way that you see it. And it might not work the way you see it the first time, but whatever pitfall you fall into, it's gonna show you how to redirect to make it work the second time. Like, I don't feel like I fail as a salon owner. No, I don't. I don't feel like that. I felt like what's for me is for me. That wasn't for me. It is what it is. But I know that with this security company, this is for me. Like, this is something that I want to do, and I'm gonna make sure that the people that's around me we gonna all be at a point where we all talk about.
Yeah.
Like, I have guys that want to start their own business, but they watching me to see what they need to do, and I ain't mad about that.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. It's gonna be a point in time where I'm gonna move forward. Like, I might take my company to wherever I'm trying to go to.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's enough. It's enough here that we all can win. And another thing that I feel like we as entrepreneurs forget is that we can all work together. It's okay.
That's
like,
a word in itself.
I can have a security company. You can have a security company. We can put our minds together, and we could probably build something great. Or you can teach me something I didn't know, and I can teach you something you didn't know. You know what I mean? I think that everybody look at things as competition now. And to me, it's strength in numbers.
It is. And I think being in a position to learn from someone that, and I don't compare other people, but I think, like, I got to be honest, like, I can learn. You got to be in a position to learn from other people. And somebody may be great at something, but if you don't humble yourself to say, you know what, let me look at their skill set. How do they go about doing X, Y, and Z, or their business strategy, and learn from it instead of believing that you have to be the everything.
You have to compete. Yeah.
And so that's very important. So how do people get in touch with your business if they want to do get your services?
I have an Instagram page for Bolo. I also have an Instagram page for Girl Code Beauty Bar. If you wanted to book an appointment or anything like that. Instagram, I also have a Facebook page.
Okay.
On the Instagram and Facebook page, there is a link on the page for you to go to my website, and it offers, like, if you need to have a consultation.
Okay.
I think everybody bypassed that and just call my phone. But you definitely can call my phone and set up something. I'll make an appointment with you to come to the office. So those are the ways that you can get in contact with me if you want those type of service. The Instagram is Team Bolo 2021.
Okay.
The Facebook is also the same. I tried to keep it the same.
Consistent, yep.
The website, like I said, you could just click the link on both pages and you could get to it. I also have my number on both pages as well.
Okay.
Email, I'm good at responding to emails. You might get an email at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, but that's when I'm paying attention mostly to my phone. My email address is www.teambolo21@gmail.com. I respond to emails more than I respond to texts. I think it's just a little more professional.
It is. The times are really changing, though. I mean, you made a good point about text messages, and it's just so tough because it's like I get what do you call it? Spam text messages now. It's just like, oh my gosh. But I wanna leave this episode of you kind of, you work in a group home. So what's your age bracket that you work with in your group home?
The group home that I have 32 all the way up until 68.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's like my passion. I'm scared to do that job.
So what would you say to someone, I would just say maybe over the age of 21, who is working a full-time job? They got some ideas of starting a business. They got their, working on their business plan, but may not have the strong support systems that you had. Or even if they do, it may not be as consistent. What advice or what thing what would you say to them to encourage them to keep going?
One thing I can tell you is don't let nobody tell you when it's your time to give up your 40-hour job. Do it at your own pace. Because we all have different things that, like me, I'm a single mother. Like, I got 2 kids, so with me giving up my 40-hour job would be, to me right now, something I couldn't do. I paid tuition. Like, my son go to private school. That's a bill every month. So to me, I'm gonna keep my 40-hour job until I feel like I'm comfortable. Until God say, like, here go, I done put this contract in front of you. This is what you got, and this is gonna take you away from that. My 40-hour job and working overtime helped me get whatever I needed for both businesses. I don't care about working overtime. I don't care about people joking about how you got to go work overtime to do whatever. I work overtime so I don't have to ask somebody for anything.
Right.
Another thing is surround yourself with like-minded people. So many times we surround ourselves with people that we be around people that we're just comfortable with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they've been our friends for 20 years, 15 years, whatever the case may be. When you surround yourself with like-minded people, those people will encourage you to keep pushing forward. You need them people to keep pushing you, no matter what. I have people that I surrounded myself with that I have a cousin that live out of town. She encouraged me to go back to school. I went back to school. I graduated. You know what I mean? And that was from watching her go through her phase of going through school and graduating. You know what I mean? So when I say surround yourself with like-minded people, surround yourself with people that think like you, that want to see you win. Some people just want you to be stagnant where they're at. And then always jot everything that you set a goal for yourself. Like, give yourself in 1 or 2 years, this is where I want to be at with my business. Set that goal and keep pushing towards that goal. Like, it's going to come little things, obstacles that's going to come your way. Don't get discouraged. Pray about it. If it don't work out, move on to something else. But just never give up. That's the best thing I can tell you is just don't give up. Don't give up at all. Keep pushing.
So I'm definitely going to have to, to play this episode back because I think I really, really appreciate the insight of information you share with us, especially because I think it just gives some highlight of the story, which is what Empower716 is all about, just giving people the background story and the foundation to individuals who are out there every single day, because sometimes entrepreneurs make it look easy. And you don't know the flight that individuals have to take to actually make things work. And it's not easy. It's a process. It requires consistency, requires dedication, requires prayer. All the things you talk about requires prayer. It requires consistency. It requires dedication. It requires you not giving up. It requires self-care. All of those things, and then kind of knowing that vision. You talked a lot about vision and writing it down, making it plain, and I think that's important. That's one of the things I was not a writer probably 10 years ago, and I would never write things down. But once I started writing stuff down, holding myself accountable to what I wrote down, because it's nothing like seeing your goals. Like I used to, 10 years ago, I started writing my goals down every year, and I go back and I look at how my growth, even my mindset, first it was like tangible things that I wanted to buy. Then it changed until once I started learning different more, like, okay, I want an investment. I wanted this. So now my goals are really, changing as I get older. But to have to go back and hold yourself accountable, oh, I didn't do this. And even if it wasn't a timing, but at least I know it was there. And then I say, okay, I still can focus on X, Y, and Z. So I love the fact that you talked about prayer. I love the fact that you talked about writing a vision, and then just not giving up. And so anything else that you want to share with us? Any kind of next moves? I know you don't want to share too much because I believe in that as well. But anything that we can look out for from you?
Definitely. I have a project coming up that I can't wait to. I don't want to speak too much about it, but one of my good friends, one of my coworkers, Dwight Lowe, you can follow him. He let me pull up his information.
Shout out to Dwight Lowe.
So I can pull up his information. He has Home Beneath Our Feet.
Okay.
He produces a lot of natural products and stuff not natural products, but like planting food and stuff like that. He has an after school program going on right now where he's teaching kids how to plant fruits and vegetables and things like that, like stuff that that fell by the wayside a lot.
Getting healthy.
Eating healthier living and stuff like that. But I had took a course that I just was like, you know what, let me just take it. He encouraged me to take it. And it ended up turning into something really, really dope.
Nice.
The outcome of it. And I can't wait till we're able to like really share it with the world. I'm glad that I got a chance to not only be my coworker, but my son has went out and done projects with him of cleaning up our streets and different things like that. But parents that's looking for a great after school program for their children, please go follow him on Facebook. And I mean, a lot of teaching. He has a chef there that's teaching these kids to cook from scratch with the things that he's planting. It's really dope. So I can't wait till that project come out.
It sounds dope.
It really does. Really like cleaning up our neighborhood dope. Like putting a different atmosphere in front of these kids to let them know that there's other things that they can be doing. I really can't wait until we really put it out there.
You got me excited. So yeah, you definitely have to. I'm sure I'm gonna see it on your social media. So definitely try to share that when you release that. So that's really dope. And it's funny. It's not funny, but how God works and when you do collaborations and opportunities. And sometimes I even find that in my path is that you involve yourself in something and then and then it leads to something else and then something that you didn't even have on your plan is just like it worked out.
It took off. Like I couldn't believe how much it took off and to be sitting and talking to council members and things like that. Like I really can't wait till you guys see this project. I mean, it's really dope, and I'm happy that my company will be a part of it. I'm happy that he's able to put his business out there to get more people to know about healthy living. I can't wait till that comes out and share.
Well, I'm excited. I am so grateful and honored. I do. I need to work on that a lot too, even in my own personal life. But I'm truly honored and just grateful that I finally get to meet the person I see on social media. I know that you're doing great things. That's why, for me, this is kind of like I tell people when I started this podcast, I didn't know what God wanted me to do with it. But I would have conversations privately with people at coffee shops or during meetings from other entrepreneurs and business owners. And I was like, this is just, I learned so much walking away from it. And there's individuals who I don't know that's out there. And I didn't want it to be about just people I bring on that I actually knew. I wanted to reach out to the ones who everybody knows, the ones in the middle that you may know a little bit about, and then the ones who are just still growing. And so I'm glad I had the opportunity to meet you face to face, to learn more about what you do, and more about who you are. And I think it shows that you're a great mother. Just love the vibe of just wanting. When you see a mother Obviously, mothers have a unique value to our world, but when you see mothers who want to make it great for their kids, they want to continue the legacy. And despite some of the circumstances that many of us face in our life, we just keep pushing on, pressing the mark, praying, trying to make it together and work at it. And so when you see that, you gravitate to other people who are trying to have the same vibe as you. So I definitely appreciate you sharing your story and all the great things. I know, I'm looking forward to your other projects that's coming forth. I'll keep praying for you, and I hope you pray for me as well.
Thank you.
So this concludes our episode. What were we on numbers? This is 17, right? I'm getting old. So episode number 17. So Wednesday, we got a special episode Wednesday at 5 p.m. My man Rob Cornelius is going to be joining us of RC Enterprise. He's going to tell us a little bit about all the great things he does in the community and for his business and so forth. And so make sure you lock in on Wednesday, this Wednesday at 5 p.m. live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you are watching or listening to this on the replay on the audio podcast, make sure download it. Make sure you like, share, and help us get this message out. Appreciate everybody locking in. Until next time, see you Wednesday.
Hey, what's up, Western New York? Did you know that Empower716 Talk Show is looking to promote and recognize young entrepreneurs in Western New York? You could recommend yourself or someone else to be acknowledged on a future episode. Nominees need to be age 21 or under, has a service or product that offers value, has taken steps to become an entrepreneur, and must be willing to come on the show and talk about their service or product if selected. Email us at empower716@gmail.com.